There's something else I want to touch on that is related to this price action. Inevitably, whenever we have these flushes, I see sentiment on Twitter from people who don't seem to understand the volatility inherent to a new technology. Bitcoin is a nascent technology. It's only 12 years, 13 years old, and its actual adoption by the world at large has not even begun yet. We are still in the very early stages of this technology, and volatility, price jumping 10K and then falling 10K the next day, is part and parcel of a growing asset that started from literally zero and is still very small. If these intraday dips of 3% or 5% or even 10% make your stomach turn and they make you uncomfortable, then it's possible your exposure to Bitcoin is not aligned with your conviction about Bitcoin. And that can be addressed. I don't think the answer is to lower your exposure necessarily. That's a decision for you to make. But where I can help is in strengthening your conviction about Bitcoin. So here's the way that I look at it. I am not a Bitcoin trader. I do hold and trade some other coins on a shorter time frame that ultimately get converted into Bitcoin because I believe that Bitcoin is money. It is not one of these other tokens. It is the hardest money ever conceived by man, and it fixes a lot of the problems with the current fiat monetary regime that dominates the world. I believe that in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, the value of Bitcoin is virtually incalculable, and its importance to human freedom and protection from monetary debasement cannot be understated. Its importance to the world has not yet been understood broadly. And so my plan is to stack as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. If price were to fall 10%, I would be buying. And that approach may not work for everyone who's listening to my channel. There may be some day traders out there, some swing traders, some new investors who are just trying to get their feet wet. We have a large kaleidoscope of different market participants who all want to understand Bitcoin a bit better. As long as Bitcoin remains proof of work, or real-life costs and energy expenditure must be used in order to produce new units. As long as Bitcoin remains deterministic in its issuance, with halvings every 4 years and a deflationary issuance rate, as long as it contains a 21 million coin hard cap, all of those properties which make Bitcoin what it is and make it unique from these other tokens trying to be money that aren't, as long as it retains those properties, it's almost mathematically certain to appreciate in value over a long period of time, over years, as capital inflows continue to rise, which we have barely even begun to see the volume of institutional inflows possible for this asset. Once those begin to happen, the ceiling of price could be anywhere. I mean, we're looking at 6.2% year-over-year inflation from the Fed in a manipulated basket of goods where they've taken out energy and other things in order to create a 6.2% number. The real inflation number year over year right now is double digits, and it's only getting worse. Bitcoin has the exact opposite properties. It is a sound store of value, and its volatility does not diminish that truth. Volatility is short term, and if you're worried about price falling 10% because you're trying to sell next week for some profit, my perspective on Bitcoin may not align with your priorities, and that's totally fine, but I want to be transparent here. My goal on this channel is to deliver fair, reasonable assessment of the Bitcoin market, but also know that I am not trading it. I'm not looking for a high price to exit. I look for low prices as dip buying opportunities. Everything else for me related to this channel, to on-chain analysis, and to Bitcoin itself is about further deepening my understanding of the future of money and finance, which is what I believe this asset represents. I say all of this because I want you to understand that when we look at Bitcoin together, when we look at this on-chain data and we make an assessment about whether it's a bull market or a bear market, whether we expect price to go up or down, that is based on data and observations in the moment. Nothing that happens to the price of Bitcoin today or next week or next month will change anything about my conviction in its long-term success, in the issues that it addresses, and in its role in the future of society. all of those things are cemented because Bitcoin itself, its monetary policy, its operational thesis, those things are immutable and unchanging. And I can rely on them in the future to be exactly as they are now. This isn't a technology company where we're analyzing cash flows and future earnings potential and competition in the sector. Bitcoin does not have competition. It is the hardest money we have as humans. It is superior to gold. It is superior to all other forms of money. And that is the way you should look at it, as a savings mechanism, not as a trading mechanism for quick wealth.